Coaching, not controlling, is a compelling way for leaders to improve team performance. Leaders who coach, create, and grow trust. When trust is high, people are engaged and energized. They work harder for longer and are more productive. Leaders are under great pressure to produce results at a faster pace using fewer resources where there are many more options to choose from. Unfortunately, most leaders react to this by adopting a command and control style of leadership. The pressure takes them over. They don't delegate enough, and they become overworked themselves and end up feeling overburdened. Teams disengage from leaders who control. Rather than increasing their performance, their work output falls, and they become discouraged. Efforts by command and control leaders to produce more become counterproductive. Instead, they and their teams produce less and increase the risk of burnout. Leaders who coach approach their responsibilities very differently. They focus on the team and how the team can be supported to produce better results. Rather than command and control, they develop and support. Case study: letting go of control. Amy was invited to accept a senior leadership role for which she had no technical training. She took up the challenge, but she had doubts about her fit for the role, and so did her team members. They worked in security, and for many years they hadn't seen much change in how they operated. The former manager had been a technical expert who had spent all his career in security. Amy's team members were all technical security experts. About 2 years into the role, Amy was continuing to question whether this is a good fit for her. She felt that she needed to be tougher and more controlling and assert herself as the leader. She had a fairly blunt and direct style anyway, and she felt she needed to keep it ramped up. Then, a critical incident happened. A large theft occurred in one of the regional teams. Amy worked with her regional manager and their team to deal with this. They followed the process and executed the response plan. But the HR team stepped in to challenge the way a particular staff member was dealt with. Rather than approaching the regional manager, HR came directly to Amy in head office. Initially, Amy was ready to charge in to defend the actions of the regional manager as the right thing to do. From her point of view, things had gone very well. The theft situation had been well controlled. She wanted to make sure that her team's actions were properly understood and they didn't experience blowback. She put on her armor to go into battle. Luckily, we just happened to have a coaching session scheduled the morning prior to the showdown. The upshot of our coaching session was that Amy decided to reframe the intervention from HR. Rather than being something she needed to control, she saw it as an opportunity her team and HR could learn from. She saw that she needed to step out of the way for that to happen. And she did. She told HR that she wouldn't be meeting with them, but that her regional manager and his team would be. She spoke with her regional manager and told him what was happening and why. She spoke with the head of HR and asked that they do the same. What did Amy do differently? Looking back at the case study, Amy learned a new way of dealing with a challenging situation. By letting go of control and trusting her regional manager to manage the internal fallout instead, she did several things. 1. Amy tried on a coaching cap. She redefined her role from manager to expert and let her regional manager be the expert in a situation that had occurred in his patch. She set out to coach him in how to manage the situation. 2. By setting up a learning frame, she focused attention on the future and what is possible, rather than on the past and what was done. This enabled the focus of action to be on opportunities rather than mistakes. 3. She didn't use her power in a coercive way, as she first intended, to prove that her way was the right way. By stepping back, she showed trust in her regional manager by delegating responsibility back where it belonged. Amy's mindset shifted to be more open. It was more collaborative and generous, thinking, how can we make this work? This event had unexpected follow-on benefits. Shifting to a coaching mindset meant Amy didn't have to be the security expert. She felt more congruent in her role as a coach. She could spend her time being more strategic and innovative, rather than trying to learn a new functional skill, a skill that her team had in abundance.